All right, fellas, today is Wednesday, March 25th, and this is Brothers in Arms. Today's topic is emotional. So we're going to dive a little deeper into this topic, and we'll let other brothers join as we go. All right. And I've also placed it in the messages, but it's a men's conference on April 11th by Dr. Tony Evans. And if any men are interested in joining in, just let me know and we'll go from there. But it's in Humble, Texas. So yeah, if you're interested, just let me know. All right. All right, today's focus scripture comes from Proverbs 29:11. And it reads, "Fools give full vent to their rage, but the wise bring calm in the end." Fools give full vent to their rage, but the wise bring calm in the end. I got a little context behind that. So Proverbs, a lot of what am I trying to say? A lot of Proverbs coverage is based on self-control. So Proverbs Proverbs 10:19, self-control is one of the biblical marks of godly wisdom. That's stated in Proverbs 10:19. Also in Proverbs, the ability to control one's speech is especially valuable. That's in Proverbs 17:27. And that statement, a fool is someone who ignores godliness and common sense. And you can find that in Proverbs 8:32 through 36. Emotions are volatile, and that's in Proverbs 16:32. And emotions are volatile and need to be restrained by a reasoned mind. Wow, that's powerful. Need to be restrained by a reasoned mind. And because it takes a lot to, transition your emotions to a positive state. And that's actually in Romans 12 too. So Romans has a taste of self-control as well. And it says a foolish person lets his emotions control him. And let me see. So yeah, so this verse uses an uncommon Hebrew phrase associated with stopping the motion of a liquid, such as waves in the sea or water slashing in a bucket. This captures the difficulty of calming one's own temper and holding in angry words. The solution to a lack of self-control is God's influence through the Holy Spirit. One of Jesus' demonstrations of power was to calm dangerous waves with just a word. What's impossible for people can be done through God's power. And those segments kind of skip around. We had a bit of Psalm, James, Galatians, Mark, James, and Luke in that particular reading that I just went over. All right. I see you, Breeze. Welcome. All right, so I'm gonna read through this, then we're gonna have a question on the next slide. So there's a myth floating around that men don't share their emotions because they don't have any. Most guys are cautious about sharing too much too soon with people, and their ability to open up emotionally grows over time with friends and loved ones. In other words, the emotions are there, but they aren't waved in people's faces at random. So it's often not a matter of having the emotions, good, bad, or ugly, but a matter of feeling safe to share them. And unfortunately, some men were never shown how to express their emotions in a healthy way. Maybe you were raised by parents or a parent who struggled to show emotions, to show any emotion. or we're simply not allowed to show uncomfortable emotions like frustration, sadness, or anger. God designed us to feel and experience things at an emotional level. Emotions are not bad, they are God given tools to help us stay in tune with Him and the world around us. Think of emotions like gauges on a dashboard that tell you how well your car is running. The gauges don't drive the car, they help the driver understand how well or poorly the car is running. Just as it is dangerous to ignore your check oil light, so can be a bad idea to ignore emotions that keep popping up. For example, if a friend keeps breaking promises, you are eventually going to get discouraged, angry, or both. Denying either just makes things worse. The answer is to address the issue and talk to them about it. All right, so kind of our first segment is to recognize your emotions. So I'm going to read this little analogy at the bottom, then we're going to answer question one. If you were raised to either ignore or downplay your emotions, it might be hard to start seeing them for what they are. Tools to help you stay connected to God and to the people in your life. I tell guys that the first and best step is to do a quick inventory when they feel emotionally off. What are you feeling? How is that emotion affecting you? Naming the emotion is a surprisingly powerful step to managing it. Just saying, I am really angry right now, helps you bring that emotion into the light. So the first question is, whenever you get emotional, do you recognize the feeling and how it may be affecting you? Or do you downplay, ignore your emotions and just go on about your day? If anybody want to answer that one, you can.
I'll go. I say, I think when I when I get emotional, I kind of I recognize it, and then I look on like what specific thing like essentially made me feel the type of way, and then I
Mm-hmm.
kind of just like think about like not really downplaying my emotions or how I feel, but kind of just self-reflecting on like, okay, is it worth it to really linger on this? Like
Mm.
I can feel how I feel, but should I really let it like affect me, or should I just recognize it and then just like move on from it? Like it could be a situation where you driving and somebody like just cut in front of you, swerving and driving crazy. And,
Mm-hmm.
you can initially get upset, like why are you driving like that? But then you can just have that little moment of being like, irritated, but
Yeah.
then, you can just choose not to let it like bother you the rest of the ride. You can be present with your emotion, but not let it like linger and affect you, like, or in a sense where they can irritate you and now you mad the whole ride home and you
Yep.
swerving and you driving crazy. Now that negative, energy or action rubbed off on you. And now you
Yeah.
putting your life in danger because of what somebody else did or how somebody else made you feel. Um,
So true.
That's
yeah.
true. Yeah.
Um, but I wouldn't really say I ignore my emotions. I just kind of just think about like the long term effect of like, okay, this person said this to me and it upset me, and then I'll just think about like, well, is it something big, or did I just take it the wrong way, and
Mm-hmm.
like is it something that I can just get over, or was it like a misunderstanding? And then that's when I just ask for like clarification of like, hey, you came off like this,
Yeah.
what did you mean by that? Instead of me just assuming the worst just because of, they how they worded things. Because, people was raised, obviously everybody was raised differently. So somebody might not notice how they came off to you. And it could
Yeah.
be, harmless, but by you taking it personal and thinking that they trying to attack you or they being mean, they could really just, be harmless, So
It's true.
I
Yeah.
just started just essentially just if I do get upset or just in general, if I don't understand something or if somebody come off a certain way, I'll just ask like, hey, um, what did you mean by this? Or hey, this when you said this or did this, it made me feel like this,
Yeah.
and then move on and then like go from there.
That's good, Jay. That's definitely recognizing, and I mean, like Jay was saying, sometimes you gotta talk with the other person for them to recognize their emotions. Maybe they're ignoring their emotions. And when you approach them about it in a positive manner, now they're recognizing what they did wrong or what they could have done better. So that recognition, if I'm saying that right, is very, very key because that's actually the first step of it. Like what am I, emotionally frustrated about, emotionally sad about? What am I emotionally just, why are these emotions just flaring all of a sudden? And like once you realize what has brought those emotions, then you could act from there. Make a decision upon that. So yeah, that was good, Jay.
Yeah, that was good, Jay.
Somebody else want to take the question?
Yeah, I'll go with it real quick. So
Go ahead,
I'm
Bree.
kind of like a little bit what Jay said. For me, I'm gonna say both though.
Mm-hmm.
Because it depends on the situation. Like Jay said, if we in traffic, somebody driving crazy, they having a bad day, or just being them, that's what they do on the regular. It ain't like I might get mad, but something like that, I feel it's best if I ignore it because usually when I
Yeah.
do ignore them type of moments, um, eventually down the road, I'm probably gonna forget about it. Versus if I keep it built up, and I pull up on him, and now something done turned to nothing. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
True.
it just depends on the situation. But also like you say, if it's I'm having a problem with a friend or a family member or something like that, they say something, somebody that I gotta deal with. I'm gonna be around. I'm definitely gonna see them again or live with, work with, whatever it might be. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I say something then, and even then, though, like it just depends on the person and the
The
situation.
person.
But
Yeah.
um, I'm gonna be around them a lot every day, no matter what our relationship
Yeah.
is or something. Like I ain't gonna ignore my emotion. Then I'm gonna let you know that one time, and then after that is either I'm just gonna have to get from around you or deal with it one or the other. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
it just depends on the situation. But I done literally been in moments where like I say, every day I do a little bit of both, man, and it just it's just a certain time to react off your feelings, and certain time you
Mm-hmm.
just wham on your sleeve, shake it off.
Yeah. Yes, sir. That's good, Breeze. I agree because it definitely depends on the situation. Because some situations, it's really no need to, intervene or I mean you're recognizing it. You're recognizing like someone swerving in front of you because they're having a bad day. You're recognizing what they're doing, but if you just simply ignore that, and keep your positive emotions flowing, it's nothing it's no effect on you from that. But if you're intervening in that, of course it's going to affect you. Now, like Jay said, those negative emotions passing over. Now you're doing something crazy and passing it over to the next. Then it just creates it creates a trail. So that's definitely, yep, definitely depends on the situation, you know, for sure. What's up, Jew? I see you joined. So the question is, Jew, whenever you get emotional, do you recognize the feeling and how it may be affecting you? or do you downplay, ignore your emotions? If you want to answer, you don't have to though. I just wanted to read it again.
Oh yeah, and not to cut nobody out, but sometimes too, man. A lot of times where it might be with me how I handle that situation, it might not even be talking, man. It might be just I done had a rough day at work, a situation there. I come home, I
Mm-hmm.
get home, I may have me a drink, or I might just go to the casino, sit out and chill, go do, you know what I'm saying, go do
Yeah,
something.
yeah, yeah.
You know, sometimes you just can't always talk it out, or you know what I'm saying.
That's
It just
true.
be best to
Yeah,
go recognize it, but do something to make yourself feel better, man. But not something that's gonna make you regret it. And
exactly.
get what I'm saying with that.
Yeah, sometimes it takes that, you know. It's better than doing something negative, you know. If you got to do something to ease that, you know, ease those flare ups or, you know, whatever type of feelings you may be feeling, regardless if you had a bad day or what, you know, sometimes it takes you to just chill or just have a drink or, you know, just go do something, you know, fun and you get your mind off it, you know, or it simply eases your mind, you know, and you're not just sitting around thinking to do something negative. You had some, Jew?
Yeah, I was gonna say, whenever you get emotional, you recognize the feeling, how it may be affecting you. Or do you downplay, ignore your emotions? Nah, I guess I'm real introspective. I think a whole lot about a whole lot of stuff, especially myself. Always trying to
Mm-hmm.
improve on certain things. I know one of the main points I started to recognize a while ago was when I get sleepy, I get real aggravated, like irritated,
Mm.
like by the smallest thing. Like it could just make me upset when I get tired, when I get sleepy. Um, and I noticed I was doing this since I was younger. Like I don't like people to mess with me while if I'm trying to go to sleep or when I'm falling asleep. Like I get real upset, and I start to recognize that. And so like sometimes like my kids to do something, I'm falling asleep or something, and I just snap, and I be like, oh snap. Then I'll be
Yeah.
like, my bad. Let me go to sleep, and I
Yeah.
get in the bed or something. Get out the way or something like.
Yeah.
But I started to recognize that I'm like, oh snap. Then I was thinking like, but at the same time, some dude he gave me. I used to work with this dude, um, and he I think he came from he was in some type of I don't know if it was like a AA program
Mm-hmm.
for alcoholics or some type of he went to some type of little group or some recovery group, or he was in a halfway house. Some he was in, and they taught him this acronym. I forgot the acronym though, but I know it dealt with it dealt with your emotions and trying to recognize them. And
Mm.
one of them was I wish I could remember it, but one of them was they teach you to when you feel in a certain way, a negative way, it's either one or the other, and one of the things you ask yourself is, am I tired? Um, I just remember is that one of them. Am I tired? Am I stressed out? Um, it was just these questions you ask yourself to try to identify why you
Mm-hmm.
feeling that way. I wish I could remember the acronym, but it was so good. And because it was so good because those those emotions, those the acronym, the whatever they was, those emotions or whatever, 9 times out of 10, you was feeling one of those ways which caused you to feel that emotion.
Wow.
Dang, I wish I could remember it. But and I always remember him. I remember that tired one for sure because I was like, dang, that be why I be upset, like when I be getting sleepy or whatever. But when I got to
Uh-huh.
thinking about what he told me, I was like, dang, that's most of the time why you get up, why you feel a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I definitely start to recognize it. And that's wisdom, when you can recognize why you feeling a certain way,
It
you can
is.
you can cure it. You can
Yeah.
help yourself to overcome that.
Yeah.
So, now, um, before I snap, I think, I be sleepy and something happen. I think about, okay, let me go to sleep. You know what I'm saying? Or
Yeah.
let me get out the way, because this don't make me upset. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I got.
Yes, sir. That was good, Jew. Because yeah, it definitely, it takes a lot to recognize it for sure. Recognize it and then, do something about it immediately. And when I say do something about it, do something, positive about it. And sometimes you just have to dismiss yourself, like Jew was saying. Just got to step out the way sometimes, and just, let whatever's going on go on. It doesn't mean that you have to be involved, especially if you're in a frustrated state or in the act of almost being frustrated or, acting out a certain way. I mean, it's simple to tell someone, I'm sorry, but I just have to, dismiss myself, or I just need to step outside for a minute, or I'll be back, some people, some people like to, sit around chatting, maybe outside, and they feel like they can't never leave or something because, some people may feel a certain way, I feel like it's acceptable to, dismiss yourself, from situations like that, because a lot of times situations like that lead to frustration, and lead to you not ever, wanting to be around someone again, or not wanting to do something with someone again, So, I'd rather dismiss myself before it leads to corruption, or something negative, And I really had to learn that, because I was the type to want to hang around people just for a long time, and I realized it was, I started to realize it was, for one, taking my time up, and for two, majority of the people that I was maybe spending a lot of time with had, you know, more than likely had some negative, emotions that were in the twist of maybe what we were discussing and etc. So I came to the conclusion, like, if I spend less time, with this person, things wouldn't affect me as much as they are, because you start to draw into a lot of things, especially if someone is, having negative things to say, or having a bad day. It's okay to, sit and listen to someone vent. But if you have someone venting to you every single day, that's kind of bad, because then it starts to weigh down on you. And it starts to take your time up, and and then now you're trying to figure this person out. It's like you're trying to figure out things to help this person, but imagine yourself trying to figure out things to help this person every single day. That's tough. I know, as men, we be there and support people, and I'm not saying like, your significant other or anything like that, because you're supposed to be, down to the nitty gritty with them, about any situation. But I'm just talking about, people that, that you probably family members, or just people that you discuss things with. It's a certain limit that I feel like we should put to things, because those type of things bring emotions towards us as men as well, because for one, we already go through a lot, anyway, so if we hearing a lot of outside things or people bringing stuff to us, now we have to readjust, and now we have to, kind of position ourselves to be in this setting, like, okay, how am I going to address this? In the midst of everything else I got going on, like this person don't even know what I got going on, and they bringing this to me, So that's what make us men strong, man. Because I will say, as men, we do listen. As godly men, we do listen and embrace situations to give an attempt to help people, and if we can't, and it's kind of out of our will, that's why I say I feel like it's okay to dismiss yourself from situations that you may think could affect you in the long run. All right, it looked like, John joined us. What's up, John? John, I don't know if you wanted to answer this question, man. Whenever you get emotional, do you recognize the feeling and how it may be affecting you, or do you ignore your emotions? If you don't want to answer, it's cool. I just wanted to read it again.
Read it one more time for me.
Whenever you get emotional, do you recognize the feeling and how it may be affecting you, or do you ignore your emotions?
Well, yeah, no, of course you gotta. I feel like in order to grow and change, some you gotta recognize it. You gotta
Mm-hmm.
pay attention to things that's causing you to be triggered. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So like
Yeah.
if you know if a certain situation keep on happening and then you keep on brushing it off, I feel like you're never gonna overcome that situation. But if you
Yeah.
recognize it, be like, okay, yeah, well, this happened to me last time. Did this last time. I'm not gonna really react to it the way that I react to it like last time. But
Mm-hmm.
because I know how it had me. Like, I'll give you an example. It's like this haven't happened to me, but it's just an example. So if uh if I'm told to, you know, I'm gonna say dust off the counter, and and I'm gonna use my wife for an example. If she come over there and she use a glove and she's examining top to bottom and like saying, "Oh, you didn't do it right," and then I feel like last time, I feel like if I have that duty again down the line, uh, I know last time it triggered me, so I'm gonna make sure that I recognize. I already know
Mm.
what you're looking for. I already
Yeah.
know. Not saying that I'm trying to please her in that
Yeah. Yeah.
situation,
Yeah.
but it's like sometimes like the greatest teacher is experience. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like
Yeah, it is.
sometimes you may go through something and just because you went off the first time, that don't mean the next time that it happened to you that you haven't learned from it because there's plenty of things that happened to me in my life that I, I wasn't recognizing it. I was just moving off of emotions. Like
Yeah.
if it made me mad, oh, I'm about to give it some attention and and don't even think. But I guess as you get a little older, you start to realize, man, nah, some of these things ain't even worth me even addressing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yep.
that's my answer to that.
Yes, sir. That was good. That was good for sure, man, because man, as we keep living and the more we go through, man, the more wiser we become. So like John said, you in a setting and something happens that triggers you, that next time it comes around, you will know how to approach, or like if it was a person involved that first time, it's best to just, be in a positive manner, let them know what may have triggered you so they won't, do it again, or won't run it across you again, because if you don't, they're going to keep doing it, and before long you're gonna snap, and that's what leads to a lot of those situations. The person on the other side just isn't being honest or not being upfront with the person that's doing those things that may be, causing them to feel some type of way. So yeah, that was good.
Did we talk about or ask anybody ask how emotional a man should be? If a man is being too emotional sometimes,
Man, go for it, Jew.
I'm just saying, cause sometimes these Negroes be too in their emotions. It's just
I
like, bro,
agree.
you acting like a girl, bro.
Yeah, I agree.
Not like you know what I'm saying? About any
Mm-hmm.
little thing, they might get triggered like a woman or something. You know, some dudes be worse than women when it
It's
comes to, you
true.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That's so air. That's even hard. That's hard to even break down to a man.
it
Like,
is
bro,
though. Yeah.
you too emotional. You know what I'm saying? We need that. I don't know. How you explain that to a man if he tell him he acting like a female? You know what I'm saying? That
Mm,
right there is like,
that's
hey,
right. Yeah.
Hey, Drew. So what you think about a what's your thoughts on a person that can't let nothing go? Like that's considered weak as well.
if they can't let nothing go,
So so I'll say for instance, dude who we used to all talk to, and if you go on his page, same thing. All he talk about is, yeah, y'all can stay together, no friends. I don't want to talk to nobody. It's the same rant for 2 3 years, bro, and it's like. And it's I feel like that's a sign of weakness, bro. If you can't let nothing go, if you stay stuck into a situation that happened to you 2 3 years ago, that's to me that's femaleish. Like because
yeah,
and it's traumatizing as well, like
It
bro,
is.
because you holding on to the trauma and
mhm.
if you can't just let it go, bro, like that's a sign of weakness in my opinion.
It is because you really ain't gonna be able to move forward and things. I mean, it's certain things. Some people hold on to things and use it for motivation, but eventually you gotta let it go. I mean,
Yeah,
if it's driving you, to get to us, if you need that to drive you to success or drive you to a certain area in your life you're trying to get to, then use it for that. But eventually, when you get there, hopefully you let it go, or
uh,
it could be another way you can hold on to it. Just, you could probably let it go, but always keep that in your mind, use that as, fuel, you know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
Not necessarily holding on to it.
Yeah. Of course,
Uh-huh.
it's you can use it for the
But
good
I
as
know
well.
exactly what you talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
that's
like
that's
if you ain't if you just holding on to it in the envious way, bro, like I feel like ain't no growth coming from that. Like be
Mm-mm.
you you
yeah, that's I remember a few years ago I realized why people use that phrase, what they say, like if you at work or something, not even just at work. People use that phrase when people be like, "You always got an excuse," or people be like, "You always making excuses," or excuses are like buttholes. Everybody got them.
yeah.
Never really understood what that meant, but then I'm like, but a few years ago I understood it. I'm like, you know what? People who always make excuses, they don't grow.
Don't grow.
So I
Yeah,
said that make I don't know how it clicked one day. I said, you know what? That's what that means. I start to realize like people that I know that always got an excuse for something. I was like, you always got an excuse because you never going forward. Like you got this same excuse. If you finally, if you finally got to that, that next step, or like you wouldn't have no excuses if you tried harder. You wouldn't have no excuses if you finally, if you did something different. You
Mm.
yeah,
excuse. You
yeah.
wouldn't have an excuse no more.
Them excuses just be having you chain and
Exactly.
also to keep you comfortable because a lot of fear comes with growing, man.
Mm-hmm.
People don't want to grow just because of what may be on the other side. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Right.
it's hard to even see it. But yeah, that's
Mm-hmm.
why when you said about the crying part, females, that what made me unmute. I said, man, I said I gotta throw that in there because sometimes, bro, just being an envious person or not holding on, just holding on to stuff. Even in my opinion, like in my eyes, what I was going through just a year ago with certain things that I had going on. I had picked up the phone, just be the bigger person, bro. This is, hey, bro, I might have was tripping in this area, da 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 da. Even if you don't accept my apology, even if you
Mhm.
don't want to talk to me ever again, I feel better with letting that, because when you hold on to stuff like that, it's like dead weight. It just hold you down and it's on your mind all day. You're thinking
Yeah.
about it. Yeah, so I did my part by just calling whoever I may have hurt and kind of like release it off of me. But just staying in it, bro. Like, nah, bro. That's a sign of weakness in my eyes.
I feel like we as men, as far as men, we supposed to try to control our emotions. Um what's the saying? They got intellect over emotions. We supposed to be able to think through our emotions and not be ruled by our emotions.
Mm.
Because at the same time, like when I said how emotional should a man be, um, we because when a man shows, as you get older, I feel like when a man starts to show too many of the too many negative emotions, that's when it becomes like a feminine, like a female. Because if you a man and you constantly, when you get up, when you get too mad, you get too angry, you know what I'm saying, you crashing out, that could be feminine, you know what I'm saying. If you always crashing out, you acting like a female, because women, they do that, they go crazy, they start, get overly upset and not stop thinking when they just get angry and just black out. We supposed to be able to control that. Don't be crying too much, you know what I'm saying. Cry, it's all right to cry, but don't find yourself crying too much, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Even being like the feeling of, we got to take control of this feeling of depression, bro. Even depression, like, you can't, that's weakness, you know what I'm saying. I know
Mm-hmm.
it's harder for some people because everybody is built different. Everybody, went through different things in their life, but they got to eventually get over whatever making them depressed. They got to learn to love themselves more. You know what I'm saying? They got to learn how to
It's true.
overcome these things, because at the end of the day, depression really come from, a lack of love for yourself,
Yeah. Yeah.
not trusting God. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, because I was talking about that with a client today, how, you know, depression has become a mental illness. I mean, they like giving you medication for depression. And I feel
Wow.
like that's crazy. Like, I don't understand how you can. I told him, we was talking about it. Uh, I was like, I bet you get that person $100 million, they ain't gonna be depressed no more. 9 times out of 10, they had some money, they wouldn't be depressed no more.
That's true.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, if it's a person who ain't got no money, they depressed, you give them some money, they gonna be straight.
Yeah.
Snap out of it, especially if they ain't never had nothing, they gonna snap out of it.
Yep. And
Um,
and that's just crazy how simple that transition can be.
yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? Even, the Bible say money answereth all things. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
The Bible say that. You know what I'm saying? Uh, but yeah, bro. We got to learn how to rule over our emotions. You know what I'm saying?
So Jude, since you say we should be able to control our emotions, do you think there could be a time where it's, well, like you go on so long and you probably in too much, controlling it too much. Like I find myself
Mm-hmm.
sometimes
Mm-hmm.
I find myself sometimes, maybe, I'm in control, I'm controlling my emotions, and I'm just, going on and on. I find myself sometimes maybe missing some things that I may have should have caught. Maybe I'll, miss telling my wife about I was feeling bad. Then she'll come back and say, "Well, why you didn't tell me that?" And then I go back to thinking like I'm controlling my emotions, but am I controlling them a little bit too much to where I'm not recognizing some things, and able to, discuss those things with other people. So that's why I'm like, we in control, but do you feel like sometimes we may be a little like controlling our emotions a little like overboard?
I know exactly what you're talking about, and I don't feel like that's controlling your emotions.
You
You know what
don't?
I'm saying? No,
Yeah.
no, no, because you controlling it, yeah, but you have to learn how to, you know, release that emotion at the same time too.
Yeah.
Just like you said, just like when you said you should have probably talked to your wife about that. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? That's
That's
that's that
that's releasing it.
that'd have been the release of it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
act of like say in a way like okay, say y'all was into it about something, and instead
Mm-hmm.
of snapping on her, you waited till you calmed down, and then went to her and was able to have a conversation.
Mm.
Yeah, you was able to go talk to her and have a civilized conversation.
Yeah.
Now that'd have been that was more the control. You didn't snap, but you was still able to calm down and release that, get that off your chest. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha. Yeah.
And then at the same time, I feel like it comes with controlling your emotions. Also, I'm not saying it's easy. It's also learning yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
To be able
Yeah.
to you learn yourself, and at the same time, when you feel these certain emotions, you know the proper way to release them, so you don't
Release
hold
them.
on
Yeah.
to them, and you don't build, it don't start to build up. So and then at the any little thing you explode. You know what I'm saying? You've been
Yeah.
holding this emotion in so long, so you watch a movie and you just boohooing everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Over this,
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
cartoon movie, but
Yeah.
you really want to cry because your homeboy died. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
True. Yeah.
Um,
True.
somebody cut you off in traffic. Now you having road rage, pulled the gun out on them, but you really been holding in this
It's
anger
really
from
about
work.
something else.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? So learning how, because I used to hold stuff in, a lot, like hold everything in and then just explode.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But I found through, you know, just spending a lot more time with myself, like by myself, and just really reflect, like have like even an hour out your day just to sit down in silence and
Yeah.
just reflect, talk to yourself,
Yeah.
think, read, or just sit in silence, bro, and just think. You know what I'm saying? And pray. You know what I'm saying?
It changes a lot,
It
man.
changed a lot, bro. You start
Yeah.
to think about you kind of sometimes you will sit there and find yourself feeling. You'll find out, dang, I kind of feel a way up. You'll realize you'll realize like, dang, I kind of been depressed, or dang, I'm kind of still upset about that situation that happened 2 weeks ago. And you
Yeah.
like, dang, so how I'm gonna deal with this? Like I gotta deal with this, like, and you will end up finding out, you end up releasing it just from that little hour of thinking. You know what I'm saying? Or just in silence. Just stopping your life, stopping your world right then and there. Just to
Yeah,
just
like
mm-hmm.
yeah, like in the last session I was telling the fellas, man, it's sometimes I go look at myself in the mirror, man, talk to myself like, like what
Yeah,
is you
bro.
doing, man? What is you doing? Or like, if it's about to be like a situation where I'm about to, I almost made a bad decision, man, I go talk to myself in the mirror, like, what is you doing? Like them your old ways, like sometimes, like you say, man, it takes you to talk to yourself to calm yourself down, or or realize a lot of things, and it takes that thought process, and it trains you, into leading into other situations too.
Right, right. And I feel like that's one thing that the world and kind of made us think we crazy if we
Mm-hmm.
talk to ourselves.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong. Some people, they might be a little off the spectrum with it, but I feel like ain't nothing wrong with talking to yourself. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
exactly.
saying? At the
Yeah.
same time, then I feel like everybody talks to themselves, because if you think you talking to yourself, but when you think out loud, that's when you crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um, like it's crazy, bro. But I think you even like, bro, really talking to yourself it help a lot, bro.
It can.
It
Yeah.
helps a lot, because at the same time, that's all prayer is. It's not talking to yourself. You know what I'm saying? But you kind of, you talking out loud. Like when you pray out loud, you start God communicate. It's kind of like, I want to say, I guess for me, because I do acknowledge God. Like when I talk to myself, I don't just talk to myself. I'm acknowledging God at the same time.
Yeah.
So I guess that's what I'm doing. I'm praying, but I'm really having a conversation. You
That's
know,
true. Yeah.
I don't know.
Then you're releasing what's on your mind at the same time.
Exactly. So exactly. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, but I feel like when y'all doing that is more so you channeling your inner self, like because
Mm.
we
Yeah.
all have a certain way that we want ourselves to be, and of course, like I just left Torchy's. I got a soda, and I'm like, bro, it's been a little minute since I drank a soda, bro. You tripping? So like
hmm
I kind of like did the same thing just 30 minutes ago, but like it's 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 cool to do that inner work, bro. Like
hmm
yeah,
It is. Yeah.
just to check yourself because ain't no it's too easy nowadays to just slip up, and it's kind of like acceptable now to just slip up and just really do whatever you want to do. So just check yourself here and there, and also, man, watch what you put in your ears and your mouth and all these different things, man. It's like I feel like when I'm doing good is, I'm aware of what I'm doing. And like if like I'll give you an example. Like just the other day I'll be watching Nino Brown and he always be like doing podcasts. And like he had one when he's talking about these girls, what they do on girls' nights. So I'm explaining that to my wife. I'm like, yeah, oh, so that's what y'all be doing. But I'm dead serious. but I'm dead serious. I said, oh, so this what you want to really go on a girls' night? So this is what y'all be doing. Da, 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 da. So it's like, just that glimpse of me watching that, it was just a thought that went in my head. Even though, man, I got a good wife. I know she
You're
ain't
right.
doing
You're
nothing
right.
crazy
Yeah.
like that, but it's just, man, you can watch something, you can hear something,
That's
somebody
true,
can
bro.
say something, like somebody can just be like, dang, bro, like my cousin was like, bro, you been in the gym for 2 years, bro, you still fat. And it made me mad. I was like, bro, what you talking about? So like, but like, sometimes just, sometimes, bro, like just what you hear and what you think can knock you off your inner work. So what
You
you
can.
really
Yeah.
trying to do, bro. So there's I was just hearing y'all talk about that. I said, let me chime in on that.
hmm That was cold, bro. You
That
can't listen.
was.
Don't let him hit. Don't let him talk to you like that, bro. He don't know what you've been through, bro.
Man, I told him, I said, man, I be eating tacos. That's my protein, bro.
Look, that boy probably ain't in the gym at all. He ain't even trying.
Man, I told him, I
Boy.
said, bro,
Them be the one.
I say, bro, like if I go to the gym once a month, bro, that's more than what you doing. So
Exactly. Talk to him like that.
I said, so what you talking about is I ain't even gonna even let that get to me.
For real.
I say, but man, I say, man, it's just sometimes, man, people could just say some stuff sometimes, bro. And like, man, it does either can make you wake up your inner self or make you be like, dang, you know.
Exactly. That could have broke you
Mm-hmm.
right there.
Yeah,
If
That's
you was
true.
if you was weak, that could have broke. Yo, what is his
yeah.
point? So what are you trying to? What was his point of saying that?
Yeah, my man, you been in the gym 2 years, bro. You ain't long. I'm like, bro, I say, it's people been in the gym their whole life. Some
Yeah.
people ain't in the gym to lose weight. Some people in the gym to try to put on muscle. I feel like the gym is mainly more so for the mental, for the mind, bro. It ain't really like,
It do.
and
Yeah.
it's really for the mind, and
hmm
and you I mean, you of course you can transform your body if that's what you want to do, but if you in there to just get away a little minute and challenge yourself, okay, I'm about to put on a 45 and a 25. Let me see if I can do that. Boom. Okay, I did it. It's more of a challenge, in my opinion. And then,
Mm-hmm.
as you gravitate and get more people in there, like okay, we going in here having us a little group session. You know what I'm saying?
Shoot.
Mm-hmm.
But like sometimes you can have like little birdies like that can kind of like deteriorate you, man. Like a negative mindset, it can mess you up.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
If you have a lot of them around you. So,
Yeah,
but
sometimes we don't know what we're saying. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like he didn't think about
True.
that because he probably ain't think about it. Like, dang,
Just
if I
came
say
out.
this, if I say this, this could stop him. Period. Like this
because
could make him depressed.
automatically, us as men, not even just men, people in general know not to tell a woman, Are you pregnant? Or man,
Mm-hmm.
Oh
oh
yeah.
man, you fat. Like
Yeah.
automatically, you can't tell a woman that. So, but like it just, I be feeling like it just always is. It's always people don't mind approaching a man and just saying anything. Sometimes, like bro, they don't even be caring about your feelings like that. But like if you strong within, bro, you ain't got to worry about none of that.
I think if sometimes people just don't know though,
Yeah, yeah,
they
yeah.
just don't know.
Yeah, it
Like
just
if you probably sit there and had a whole conversation about that one phrase, he would have been like, "Oh, my bad. Like
yeah.
I didn't even know."
Yeah,
Like some people just don't think. They just say whatever comes to their mind. I
Yep.
used
yeah,
to be like that. That's why I used to be like that. I done hurt a lot of people's feelings. Like,
yeah. You been there 2 years. I said, man, I go one time a month. That's more than what you ever did.
mhm.
Yeah.
Yes, sir, man. We had a good talk today for sure. We couldn't even get through the other two topics, but we'll return to it for sure. Anybody before we close out, anybody got any midweek news? Anything new? Has anybody purchased a new house, a new car? Any prayer requests? Jeron say Duke and the Lakers are trash.
What I need to purchase is a gas station, man. That gas ridiculous, bro.
Man,
And I'm like, God dang, this making me want to go get me like a electric car or something.
sheesh.
Yeah, but nah, man, ain't nothing really happened other than working, paying bills, taking care of the family. That's about it.
Juice say he about to get 100 million.
Oh yeah, this probably be his last call right here. Then. You probably ain't gonna hear from him no more after this.
Hey, my cousin on what's that? On Monday night, after our call, I had another meeting with my cousin. Uh, I ain't probably ain't tell y'all we've been working on this app or whatever.
You told me.
Yeah, I tell you about it. So we've been working on this app, and he was going. He finished like the uh the little demo version of it. So he was showing me, walking me through it and stuff like that, and I almost cried, bro. I said, "Oh my goodness!" Like, cause I had this idea, I shared it with him,
He
and we was
probably he probably took it to another level.
yeah, but it was everything. It was like I don't know if y'all never had nothing like it's like I know Buck know what I'm talking about when you making music and the song come out exactly how it come out in your head. When something
Mm-hmm.
in your head come to fruition, it's just like so beautiful to you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is like I'm like, man, when I'm looking at this thing, I say, oh bro, it's over. We finna
Wow.
revolutionize. We finna revolutionize the fitness industry, bro. Like this finna be big, bro. Like when I'm
Man, that's
looking
a
at it, I'm
blessing.
just like, man, bro. I say this finna disrupt, bro, some things, bro. Like, man, that's why I told him, that's why I said I'm finna get 100 million, cause I said, bro, we gonna need 100 million, bro. Or somebody gonna offer us 100
I was
million
about to
just
say
to,
y'all gonna
bro,
have some investors on y'all back.
what? Like, bro, this thing bigger than me, bro. This bigger than us. Like,
So I I guess did he get get a developer or?
so we've been going through this for a minute. So when we was talking around to people, we didn't outsource to other countries, and
Yeah,
then we don't trust people out there, So
true.
then
Yeah.
he knew somebody out here, but they was talking about 30 bands
Mm.
for the demo, 60 for the full version, plus, they want some like 6 figures, just for the maintenance.
Wow.
Because we're gonna need a whole team of
True.
IT for the maintenance.
Yeah.
Um, so that's when we was like, we just gonna have to, get a demo and present it to investors or whatever. And he was like, yeah, yeah. So I'm like, dang, bro. So my whole thing is trying to come up with the 30. So I had told him about I sent him this video about these AI apps, these AI prompts that build the app for you. So
Mm.
he had got one and he ain't tell me. And so he had been, messing with it for like 3 months. And then he finally finished like a good portion of it. And so that's what he showed me on Monday. And I'm like, oh, bro, it's over with. It's over.
So
Yeah,
what? So I guess whatever AI app he may have outsourced to, he probably had to pay for a subscription for it or something.
yeah. I ain't even asking what he used though, but I'm sure it is probably.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know most
that's
of them
crazy.
when you get like ChatGPT, if you get like that $200 subscription, man, that thing can do some powerful stuff, bro. It can
Mm-hmm.
send email automations
Mm-hmm.
to customers, and man, I was looking at that stuff. I was like, man, that thing can do some crazy stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is, bro. But yeah, I said they gonna try to buy this from us. When we get
Man,
it to the
keep
work, people see it. I say, ooh. I say, I don't know how we gonna do it. I say, I ain't gonna even lie, this thing so big, I sell it. You know what I'm
wow,
saying?
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
then when I think about it, it's like, dang, it's worth keeping because of the man, it's worth keeping. But then I'm like, dang, it's gonna be so big, you gonna have to. I just might if we can cut the right deal, just give me some, we could do a partnership. Give me some
Or
royalties on it. You know what I'm
I
saying?
finna say, or staying long enough to get your kids stocks in it, and
Exactly. That's
and
what I'm trying to do. Just get a
and
check for
have
the
that
rest of my
sitting,
life.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yup. Get the checks
Man,
going.
man,
Mm-hmm.
keep
Like
us
that.
updated on that, Jew, for sure,
Oh
man.
yeah.
That's
Oh yeah.
that's a
Once we get all
blessing.
the paperwork together, then I'll be able to tell y'all what it is, like what it all
Yeah,
entails.
yeah, yeah. I know he probably probably working on patenting it and everything, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yup.
Yeah.
Yup.
Yeah, I remember you told me about it a couple years back. A
Mm-hmm.
couple months back. Yeah, but
Mm-hmm. It might have been about 2 years, bro.
whenever you explained it to me, I already said, yeah, if you get that right, yeah, it's over.
Mm-hmm. It's
Yeah,
just gonna help so many people. That's why it's gonna be, man.
yeah, you could probably partner with man. You could partner with gel nutritionists and all kinds of different
Man,
things.
that
Yeah,
thing
the
could be
sky the
big,
limit,
bro.
bro. There's so many avenues with it. That's one. That's just a part of it. Then you got. I was like, dang, the merch side for it. The
Mm.
like
Mental,
it's
you can put mental health coaches, everything on that one app.
Golly, boy.
yeah, it's gonna be big.
Yeah, that's why I say this is whatever you do, bro. Don't forget the small people, brother. Don't forget about me, man. You gonna climb on up and forget about me, bro.
Can't do
Nah,
that.
nah, but
I'ma still need a cut, bro.
I ain't gonna stop cutting either. I might slow down, but I ain't gonna stop.
Yeah, I know
yeah,
you gonna have to slow down.
Mm-hmm.
man, you gonna be in there with them suits on cutting, bro. Got beaten in 30 minutes, brother. Yeah, nah, but
Facts.
faith of a mustard seed. That's all you need.
That's it.
That's all.
Run crazy. Look,
Look at
look.
Jeron.
I'm telling you, I know y'all gonna hack it. Look, I'm gonna have to hire
Go
y'all.
heck.
I know most of y'all doing IT. Y'all gonna be look. I'll pay y'all more. Shoot, I'd rather pay some people I know. Shoot, cause that's gonna be the main. We gonna need number IT, like number programmers. Cause
Yeah.
I had to fix constant bugs and all this type of stuff.
That's true. Yep.
Protecting
Keep
it,
them
all of that.
updates, them
Yup,
patches, and
all
you
that. So
know,
I said that's gonna be the most. That's gonna be the main part of the whole organization, the whole business, the whole
and
thing.
you got to do that to prevent hackers. So
Exactly.
that's big.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You still got old boy information who put Pro Tools on my computer?
Yeah, Benny.
Yeah, that's his name, Benny. I think I got his number. I just try to remember his name. I was like, bro, I got so many people in here that say computer next to it. But yeah, that's the name, Benny. I see it in my phone. But yeah,
All right, fellas. Anybody else got something they want to bring to the table? All right, cool. Yeah, man.
Nothing but
Oh,
the
go ahead, Pop.
nothing but the Lakers on. We are about 20.
How
Let
you feel?
Jeron know we are
How you
about
feel
20
about that,
something.
Jeron? Them boys on a winning streak or something, right?
We lost our last game, but we still
Oh,
fought
okay.
with them. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I was gonna say, man, just whatever you guys got going, man. I wanna, spread prayers over your your everydays, your day-to-days, and whatever goals you may have set forth, as men, as powerful minded men as we are, it's possible. Nothing is impossible with God, so anything that you guys may have going on and you think it's the end of the road, just know it's possible. All right. All right, let's close out with a prayer. We got a short one today, so I'll read this one. Father, help us brothers get a grip on our emotions so we're able to manage them rather than the other way around. Thank you for creating us to both think rationally and feel deeply. Do your work in us today. Amen.
Amen.
All right, fellas, have a good one.
All right, y'all.